Diego was mentioned to me in a comment a while ago now. I was hesitant to cover it due to other people having made videos about it, as there's no point in essentially remaking someone else's video, but I hope to bring something a little different to the table in this video. So let's start at the start. Diegosaurs channel started a decade ago in 2014, although finding anything from prior to 2018 can be difficult, outside of the My Digital Escape video, which we'll get to. Well, in saying that, it's not exactly something Diego hides, with his oldest public video being reacting to my old emo YouTube videos. Unfortunately, the earliest save of his channel I could find was from 2019, when he wasn't actually called Diegosaurs, but TSM Diego, which we'll get to soon. He seemingly deleted all his videos from before he reacted to those old videos, although I found some, one of which is on screen at the moment. Anyway, let's construct a timeline of sorts, or try to at least. Diego started on YouTube back in 2014 under the name Diegosaurs Navarette. As you can see in this screenshot, he was popular on YouNow. In fact, the first save of his YouNow account has him in the trending people section. Although he no longer streams on there, he has 650,000 fans. Although these may not be his origins, as his Twitter account was made in 2013, implying there's a year or so unaccounted for. Although it would make sense if it was a personal account before it was made for his online endeavours. In 2015, he had a guest spot on My Digital Escape in a video entitled How to Survive High School. Around this time, he was dating My Digital Escape member Shannon. We'll talk about Shannon a bit more soon. He also attended VidCon in 2015, even doing an interview. That same year, there was also a petition made for Diego to join My Digital Escape after what happened with Austin. It had a whole 12 supporters. Shannon and Diego had separated by 2016, although it's where some of Shannon's video comes into play, although at the time Diego was continuing to do his thing, growing his audience on YouNow and going on tours even, which is where some of the issues arose. A 40-minute clip from a YouNow stream from Diego in September of 2016 exists. It's entitled Diego Exposes Tyler and Shannon. There's things mentioned in the stream that I can't find evidence of, although there does exist tweets from around that time that could give an indication of what was said. In short, the tweets imply that Shannon's boyfriend at the time, Tyler, said Diego cheated on her. It's not implied how exactly, although tweets would suggest that it was due to what is known as stage kissing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The main issue with the stage kissing was that it was with underage fans. Diego rebuttals this by saying that Shannon cheated on him, and because it's a live stream from 2016, you wouldn't expect any evidence to be shown. I couldn't find a copy of Tyler's video anywhere, so that's all I have to offer in regards to that stream in the context of what I could find. 2017 saw Diego as a finalist for YouNow of the Year at the 9th Streamy Awards. Their description reads as follows. Regularly making the editor's choice selection on YouNow, Diegosaurs Navarette is something of a superstar on the platform with almost 600,000 fans and 12 million plus total views. The 20-year-old from Colorado loves having deep life conversations with his followers, opening up about everything from his sexuality to how to dye your hair perfectly pink. Although he also has a popular Twitter, Instagram and YouTube account. He heads to YouNow when he just wants to hang out with his fans, live streaming his whims like cooking up some roasted goldfish tonight with a laser pen and comparing hairstyles. He also appeared in January 2017 with a bunch of other super popular social media stars on the #GoodTimesLive tour in Chicago, cementing his status as a top influencer. 2017 also saw him start streaming more on Twitch, which would soon become his new preferred platform, and by 2019 he would join TSM. 2017, from what I could find, was pretty quiet for Diego. I mentioned near the start that it was difficult to find anything prior to 2018, and 2018 is where we're up to. Diego seemingly removed a bunch of videos from YouTube and started uploading again, after somewhat fading into obscurity. I don't mean that in a mean way, by the way. Diego basically says the same thing in a clip from mid-2018, saying he was off the radar and nobody even knew he was still alive.
Hey, if we meet, can I get a stage kiss pic to make my ex jealous, or do you not do that anymore? I honestly don't really care anymore. Like, whenever I actually did social media and people would get salty when I did stage kisses, I thought it was like the dumbest thing ever. But now that I'm like off the radar and nobody even knows I'm still alive, I don't think it matters, right? Like, I can just do whatever. Like, I can do whatever I want. And that's so nice, dude. You know how annoying that was, like, back in the day? Like, people would like freak out over like any little thing you did. Like, that shit was so annoying.
I think given what would happen a few years later, that this clip is interesting.
It's actually pretty chill now that I don't really do social media anymore. People can't freak out. I could take as many stage kiss pictures as I want. Because I guess I see where people are coming from, where they're like, oh, it's like inappropriate because you're like 20 and some of the girls are like 15. But it's not like I'm actually making out with them, bro. It's a fucking picture.
Anyway, in 2019 he was signed to TSM. TSM is an esports organization. Within a couple of years, Diego had gone from famous to in a little bit of trouble to obscure to part of one of the biggest esports organizations in the world. It's a bit strange because Diego hasn't changed his name, although to be fair, it isn't the easiest to find out about. He had become one of the best players in the world in a game called Apex Legends, which also has a competitive scene, hence why he was signed to TSM. In 2019 alone, he gained over 300,000 followers on Twitch alone. Some of his achievements in Apex are honestly impressive, and I can see why based off his gaming ability he was picked up by TSM. Unfortunately though, 2020 would have other ideas for Diego. Diego kept on going from strength to strength until midway through the year when Shannon would release the video My Stalker and Assault, My Ex, Underage Fans, Brian Starr's Involvement, and Why I'm Talking Now. I briefly mentioned this video in at least one other video, but never because of Diego, until now. According to Twitter, this video was made after Shannon tweeted this. Seeing Out Ninja promote/stream with my abusive ex-boyfriend was not what I was hoping to wake up to today. I'm so torn on telling this whole story. I don't want to put myself in harm's way again, but it's so shitty that I was cheated on, stalked, assaulted, etc. and no one remembers. To which someone responded and said, wait, who is Ninja streaming with? And Shannon said, my ex Diego. I tried to keep it all under wraps when it happened, but he had another girlfriend unknown to me, who he knew was coming to the airport to attack me blindly, and he didn't tell me. Resulted in a court battle I won and a lot of trauma. The full video will be linked in the description, but I'll summarize it to some extent. Shannon says that her and Diego largely spoke online, but they were set to meet each other. But according to Shannon, Diego had another girlfriend, as she mentioned in the tweet I just read, who was well aware of what was going on, and even met them at the airport where the girl assaulted Shannon. The assault case was the case she won, if that wasn't clear. But yes, her video goes into a lot more detail. Before we go on, I just want to clarify, none of what is being discussed in this video is illegal, as Shannon says, it's just immoral. She also alleges that Brian Starrs tried to silence her when she came out about it, as both her and Diego wrote very similar apologies online and they were both managed by Brian at the time, as if he was trying to save face. Outside of this, stage kissing underage fans would once again be a topic of discussion, and Shannon came with receipts, a lot of them in fact. I haven't actually mentioned what stage kissing is yet, but it's essentially meant to look like a real kiss, except you place your thumbs between yours and the other person's lips. So you're not actually making contact, it's essentially a fake kiss. Diego made a whole response video which I'll go over shortly. The day prior to his response video he released a tweet longer because TSM dropped him from their organization. Diego's tweet longer reads as follows. Hey guys, just wanted to clear here. I've been dropped from TSM, which I understand. This is due to some old pictures that resurfaced of me taking pictures with fans at meet and greets a few years back. I used to be a YouTuber vlog type kind, where I would kiss them on the cheek for a picture if they wanted, or a stage kiss for a picture if they wanted. Not every picture was like this of course, but if fans wanted it, I would do it for their picture. I stopped doing it around 2017 because I got some flack for it and realized it was inappropriate. I understand why I was wrong, wrong, and even if they wanted the picture, I should have just said no and thought of a better pose or something. I was definitely out of line for that, but please understand that it came from me knowing that these people would spend hundreds on tickets and travel very far in a long line to meet you. I just wanted to make sure that the little time they spent with you, they at least got what they wanted. That's where the thought of me doing it, or the what the fuck were you thinking, that was it. Sorry to everyone at TSM for hurting the name, and sorry to my fans for letting you down. Love you all. Remember that clip I played earlier?
Hey, if we meet, can I get a stage kiss pic to make my ex jealous, or do you not do that anymore? I honestly don't really care anymore. Like, whenever I actually did social media and people would get salty when I did stage kisses, I thought it was like the dumbest thing ever. But now that I'm like off the radar and nobody even knows I'm still alive, I don't think it matters, right? Like, I can just do whatever. Like, I can do whatever I want.
That was 2 years before this drama. What he is saying in that tweet longer doesn't add up with what he said on YouNow 2 years prior. The day after that tweet longer, he did release his response video, or his reaction to Shannon's video at least. So let's go over it. Towards the start of the video, he says that Shannon made the video around 3 times before. Unfortunately, there isn't exactly proof of that I could find. There is mention of it previously, and Tyler did make a video about it, which I mentioned earlier, and Shannon has also mentioned it previously. So yes, it has been mentioned before. It's not new information exactly. In the response, Diego seems to take everything on board, although he does contradict himself by saying that he didn't really date the girl that assaulted Shannon, but then says that she was asking to get back together. Diego goes on to say that they fought on social media after the breakup, and that's what he's trying not to do with the response video. I mean, it's not a vicious response or anything, so mission accomplished, I suppose. He also claims that the aforementioned Tyler video was the source of the hashtag that Shannon alleged Diego made against her, kind of. That it was in response to Tyler's video, and that it was stop Shannon and it wasn't malicious. It was more about stopping making videos about everything. And no, Diego doesn't even have a copy of the video. Also, I know that I just mentioned the hashtag that Shannon mentioned in her video, but I didn't mention it in the section where I was talking about Shannon's video. But if you've seen Shannon's video prior to watching this, then you will understand the context for that.
And then continued after the fact, after I got home and we broke up, to continue to harass me on social media. He even started a #1 trending tag on social media. Shannon is over party or something.
No, we never did a Shannon is over party. What I did was, this was like 2 years after these original events. All of a sudden, on Twitter, I see a video pop up. It's the same shit that's happening right now, where her boyfriend at the time, Tyler, made a video with her claiming that I cheated on her and that I was doing inappropriate things or whatever. That video, I think, has since been deleted, so I can't really cite it too much. But that's where the hashtag came from. So I made a hashtag, and this was with good intentions, but it was a really stupid idea. I made a hashtag called Stop Shannon, which was basically telling her to please stop making videos of me. I just kind of want to be left alone and move past all this stuff. Really stupid looking back on it, because people went to the hashtag and said a bunch of mean things like, oh, Shannon, you're X and X, or they just started insulting her and stuff like that, and that's not what the purpose or the message was.
Diego also states about the similar apologies that although he appeared in an MDE video, that he was never managed by Brian Stars. He also says that he doesn't stage kiss anymore, which I don't doubt. It very much seemed like a sign of the times. Diego explains that on the Boys of Summer tour, which you can still find remnants of online, he would do meet and greets, as he said in the tweet longer. He didn't want to deny them because of how much they paid and how far some of them travelled. He didn't want to let them down. He does say that he hasn't done it in 4 years and understands now that it's inappropriate, which takes me back to the 2018 video, which would have been 2 years prior to this response video we're talking about. He also says that he has forgiven himself. Diego's response will of course be linked in the description below. Although some of Diego's posts hinted at his leaving hopefully being temporary, he has not to date rejoined TSM, but it wouldn't be too long until he was taken under the wing by another esports organisation. In January of 2021, just over 6 months after being kicked out of TSM, he would join Solified. And while he isn't with them anymore, it wouldn't be due to anything mentioned in this video. He actually left on his own terms, citing things that have come to light about the managers and owners of the organisation. operation. In short, the organisation was found to not have paid its players. Around the time of Diego's departure, it ceased operation and has not returned in the time since. The response to Diego's response was mixed, I would say. Although many of the top comments on the video I went over are positive, his numbers don't say the same thing, with Diego losing 20,000 subs on YouTube in the past 3 years, which may seem oddly specific, but that's as far back as Social Blade goes. He continued to grow on Twitch even after his response. He lost around 10,000 followers around that time, but quickly gained them back, hitting an all-time follower peak in 2022. Since his peak, he has lost 20,000 followers and continues to lose followers most streams according to Twitch tracker. I guess this is a good time to state that he does still stream. In fact, he's live as I'm writing this video. He is still streaming largely first-person shooter games. He kind of uploads to YouTube, with his last video being 7 months ago, or full-length video at least. He's also now a creator on OnlyFans. Just before I go, there's a few things I haven't mentioned in detail in this video that I could have. I didn't see much evidence or really want to go into the viewbotting stuff from 2022. It was seemingly one tweet which was deleted and apologized for. I also didn't think there was much point in going into his relationship with Faith either, although in saying that, there's probably some things I've missed anyway. Not intentionally, of course, but thanks for watching.